I've heard some people say that in the UK you should give way to the right as if it's a general rule, but it's not. Yes, you give way to the right at roundabouts, well at least most of the time you do, but more on that one later. But in the UK you should use road signs and markings to know when you should give way and when it's your priority. It's not always that straightforward though. Generally you're giving way to path and you're giving way to committed. Here are some examples. Now I'm going to demonstrate what I mean by path and committed. At the moment I'm parked at the side of the road and I'm about to enter this path, the left side of the road. I'm not moving at the moment. Everyone's planning to pass me, so I'm not officially in that path. So I must give way to anybody else already using that path. So I'm going to get ready to go. And as no one's coming, there's not even a pedestrian who may want to cross the road, I'm not going to signal to move away. I'm just going to move into this path. Now I'm driving in this path. People, other cars, should give way to me if they want to enter the path. I have some parked cars around this bend coming up. Here we are. So I'm going to have to give way to anybody on the other side of the road because that's not my path. So I'm slowing down, checking to see if anyone's coming. No one's coming, so now I can borrow their path to pass these cars. Now I'm committed to passing these cars. Anyone who comes now should let me finish because there's nowhere for me to go. I'm committed for this blue car now, so if someone comes now, they should let me finish and then get back to my path. I could move back to my side of the road before this light blue car, but that only hurts my view. I can stay out if no one's coming. And now I'm committed for passing the blue car because there isn't enough time for me to get back to my path. Therefore, oncoming cars should let me finish because I'm committed. I'm now back in my path. If anybody else wants to enter it, they should give way to me. The road's ending now. I'm going left. A new rule is I should give way to anyone waiting to cross the road at a junction. And I have a line on the road to say my path has ended. I'm about to enter a new path, so I should give way to anybody in this path. Yellow van, no one after the yellow van, so I can go. I'm now entering this new path. Now I'm in this path. It's my priority if anybody else wants to enter it. So if someone wanted to turn into Lidl here, any oncoming cars who wanted to turn into Lidl, if I was close enough to them that they would make me brake, they should wait for me before they enter so I can pass them first. There's a parked car on the left here, but it's mostly off the road. I don't actually have to enter the oncoming car's path for me to pass it, so it's fine. Going into this road on the left now, this is a new path I'm about to enter, so I should give way to anybody already in it. There could be someone crossing the road. There could be cars driving on this side of the road as they pass parked cars, but there isn't. In fact, I've got parked cars and I'm going to have to use their side of the road. I'm going to borrow their pathway as I pass these parked cars. And now, check my mirrors and come back to my pathway. And now I'm in this pathway. Anybody who wants to enter it from this road or from a driveway should give way to me. You shouldn't commit because you're going too fast to give way. You should be driving at an appropriate speed for the situation. Being committed means there's not enough space to give way. For example, I can't see past this silver car, so I need to slow down. Committing now would be dangerous. I need to commit as late as possible. Now I'm here and I can see no one's coming. I need to use the other side of the road to go round the parked car. There's nowhere for me to go, so I have to use the other side of the road. I didn't commit too early and I didn't commit because I was too fast. And I also passed the cars slowly just in case someone came round that bend as I was on the wrong side of the road. It's important not to try and commit too early, usually because you don't want to slow down. You should try your best to give way and commit as late as possible. When parked cars are on both sides of the road, it's usually first come, first serve because you're both going to be sharing half of each other's path. For example, here, I'm not in my path and I'm not in theirs, I'm kind of in both. So I'm going to go up here very carefully. I have a space on the left I can pull into if I need to, but it looks like no one's coming now, so I'm committed and an oncoming car should let me finish this section of cars. I can see the oncoming car is committed, so I'm going to let them finish their section of parked cars. And now I'm going to start, I'm first, I should be able to get through here first before the oncoming blue car. And I'll say thank you for letting me finish. Here are some more examples of path. I'm going right at the end of this road. There's usually a line painted at the end here, but that seems to have faded away. But on this occasion, my pathway is all the way over there, and I need to cross the pathway from my right to get to my pathway on the other side of the road. So I need to give way to both sides. I'm giving way to cars from the right because I'm crossing them, but I'm also giving way to cars on the left because I'm entering that path. Currently there's no one on my right, and it looks like there's enough space after this white BMW on my left, so I can make my way across the first pathway and into my new pathway. Now I'm in this pathway, people should give way to me if they want to enter it. I'm about to take the next road on the right, and I'm going to have to cross the path of oncoming cars to get there. So mirror signal right, I'm going to use these hatch markings here to get out of the way of cars behind so I can wait for these oncoming cars. So I'm going to cross the path of the oncoming cars, and then I'm going to enter the pathway to my right here. I need to make sure both are clear. There's no one to my right, the pathway on my right is clear. There's no oncoming cars now, so now I can make my way into my new pathway, and now I'm in this pathway. If anybody else wants to enter it, they should give way. I'm about to pass this Fiat 500 though, so I'm just checking to make sure no one's coming because I will be using the other side of the road. At mini roundabouts, the roundabout itself is a pathway, so you should give way to anybody already going round the mini roundabout. But as all the roads are so close together, it would be dangerous if everybody was fighting to get to the mini roundabout first so that they could have priority. Therefore, you give way to the right, as stated in the highway code. So I'm at this mini roundabout now, plenty of cars coming from the right, so I need to give way. That's unusual, someone doing a U-turn on a mini roundabout. You should avoid doing that. And now I've got space, no one from the right, I can make my way around the mini roundabout. You should go round it, because that way if somebody else can use it at the same time as you, they can, and that helps traffic flow. It's important to understand that at mini roundabouts, even though you're supposed to give way to the right, that does not mean you give way to everything on your right. You see, in the UK, we drive on the left, so oncoming cars pass on your right. And if there's an oncoming car going straight at the mini roundabout and you're turning right in front of them, they should actually wait for you. If you're confused, I don't blame you. I see even experienced drivers get this wrong sometimes and wait when they don't need to. Also at mini roundabouts, everyone can end up giving way to everyone. If you want to get your head around them, I recommend checking out my video all about mini roundabouts. I'll leave a link to it up there in the top right hand corner of your screen. At normal roundabouts, and when I say normal, I mean not mini, normal roundabouts are raised like the one ahead. You give way to the right as stated in the highway code. The roundabout itself is a path and all the cars on that path are coming from your right. So therefore you should give way to anyone coming from the right. Once you enter the roundabout, generally you have priority and cars should give way to you if they want to enter, unless road signs or markings indicate otherwise, which they can sometimes do. And sometimes you get traffic lights on roundabouts also. Here is an example of a roundabout where I have to give way when I'm on the roundabout. So we can clearly see a warning sign that there's a roundabout up ahead. I'm going right, so mirror signal right. I can see the give way line where I need to give way to cars coming from the right. And it looks like I can go. They're indicating to come round, but none of them come round. And as I go round here, there's a give way sign on the lamppost and a give way line. So I have to wait here for cars coming from the left. But as there's no cars coming, I can continue and then signal left to take my exit down this hill. At Crossroads, if you're on the road without give way lines, you should only need to give way to oncoming cars if you are turning right, and make sure the road you are entering is clear. If you and the oncoming car both want to turn right, then you have three options. You can wait before the junction to let them go first, which is usually my preferred method. You can try to turn after each other. This is recommended by the highway code, but I find that often there isn't enough space to make this practical. Or you can try to turn before each other. Which method you choose really comes down to how much room there is, what the oncoming car is trying to do, and what feels the safest option for that particular situation. If you are on the road that has give-way lines, you must give way to both the cars approaching from the left and the right. As for oncoming cars from the road ahead, you should only need to give way if you are turning right, as then you would be crossing their path. If you are both turning right, be careful because, as before, no one has priority. Generally, it's first come, first serve, but don't trust that. Make eye contact and decide who goes first. You can try to turn before each other or after each other if you like, but I rarely recommend that unless the junction has lots of space and you trust the oncoming car. If there are no road markings, be careful because no one has priority. In my experience though, most people don't know how to deal with crossroads. What they tend to do is do first to get there goes. They don't follow the rules I've just explained in that animation. Those rules I've explained are from the DVSA's own book. The DVSA are the people who set the test. The book is called The Official Guide to Driving the Essential Skills. I think that's the whole title. It's quite a long one. I'll leave a link in the description if you're interested. It's an important book if you're learning to drive because it's what the examiners are expecting from you. Be careful when turning right at traffic lights, because when you have a green light, oncoming cars likely have a green light also. And as you'll be turning right across their path, like I'm about to this oncoming blue car over there waiting at their red light, I'm going to have to wait in the junction for the oncoming cars to pass before I can cross the path of the oncoming cars. I'll show you when they go green. Here we go, so they're going green. Oncoming cars get a green light as well. I can't just turn in front of them, that's their path. I need to wait here for an opportunity, and I can see an opportunity now, so I'll go. In my opinion, you should prioritize safety over fairness, because if you're driving safely, it's probably not very fair. If a car pulls out in front of you, slow down, let them out. If a car cuts you up, back off, let them in. It may not be very fair, but it is safe. If you're trying to hold on to your priority with the grips of your fingertips, well, your priority probably isn't safety. If a car pulls out in front of you, instead of, I don't know, beep for that long because they may just slow down by 6 or 7 miles an hour. It's the principle that counts. It's my priority. Just slow down and let them out. That's the safe thing to do. Give the driver the benefit of the doubt. They may not have done it on purpose. It may just be a mistake. And either way, whether they're inconsiderate or they've made a mistake, well, that doesn't make any difference to whether your reaction is safe or not. People generally follow example. So the more people who set a good example, the more people who are going to be setting a good example. The more people who are shouting and yelling at each other, again, the more people who are going to be shouting and yelling at each other. So in my opinion, the best way to make the road a better place is to be a good driver yourself. Priority should only ever really be given, not taken. So if it is your priority, yeah, look to use it, but if the person doesn't give it to you, just let it go. You'll probably enjoy driving more. You don't want to raise your blood pressure every time you do a journey. It's not a smart thing to do. Just set a good example, relax, and try and enjoy the journey. Well, I hope this video helps you with priority and when to give way. If you think it does, please give it a thumbs up. And if you're looking for car insurance, check out the links to Collingwood and Confused in the description. If you want to insure yourself on somebody else's car, Collingwood are there for you because you can do so without affecting the owner's policy. And that takes away a big stress from the owner when you're learning in their car. And at the moment, via the link, there's up to 35% off and a £20 Amazon gift card. If you want to insure your own car, check out the link to confused.com, because you fill out one quote form and get loads of quotes back so you can compare who's cheapest. And you can change the car on that quote as many times as you like, which is really handy when you're trying to figure out how much it costs to insure different cars. Using the links doesn't cost you anything, but it does support the channel, so thank you very much. Subscribe to get my future videos, and until the next one, cheerio.